we can analyze where all this went wrong. We can start pointing fingers of blame. But the truth is, when something is as catastrophic as this has been, everyone deserves the blame. So what I'm about to say applies from the very top of the organization, which is the owner, all the way down to the 53rd man on the roster and every person on the coaching staff and everyone else involved in football operations. What you're going to have to wear for the rest of your lives is that the 2024 New York Jets are one of the greatest failures in sports history when you consider all of the attention, all of the acquisitions, everything they tried, every move they made, all of the all-in quality of this. For it not to work is one thing. For it to be this bad, to lose to a team that is tanking and loses their quarterback in the second quarter, and you lose on 2 long drives in the fourth quarter by the backup they'd already gone away from. The defense is so overrated, it's unimaginable. I tweeted yesterday, there is no greater distance in the world, no greater distance ever measured on earth than the chasm between how good the Jets defense is and how good the Jets defense thinks it is. They're the most they're not even overrated because the rest of the world knows they're not any good. They just think they're great. They're also probably the worst coached sports team I've ever seen in my life. I've been watching football 50 years. I've never seen a team have to burn 3 timeouts in the first quarter because they couldn't get a play called. They had to burn 3 timeouts in the first quarter because they couldn't get the ball snapped in time. So you want to say, is it Rodgers? Yeah. Is it Devonta? Yeah. Is it the owner? Yeah. Is it the coach? Yeah. Is it the former coach? Yeah. Is it the general manager? Yeah. Is it every player on the field? Yes. Is it every person in the organization? Yes. Is it every person in the building? Yes. The answer is yes. From now on, when teams are disappointing, when teams have high expectations and fall short of them, the team you're going to compare them to is the 2024 Jets. And the only thing that's interesting about that for people who don't otherwise care about them is to what degree that sticks to Rodgers. And I guess that remains to be seen. It doesn't mean Rodgers doesn't go to the Hall of Fame. Of course he does. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's one of the best players that ever lived. That doesn't change. But this definitely goes in the first paragraph of the bio. Like, a failure of this epic a proportion with this much attention attached to it cannot just be overlooked. Oh, by the way, he finished with the Jets. Like, Brett Favre's time with the Jets is completely overlooked when we consider his career. Completely. It's practically as though it didn't happen. This is not going to be that. Brett Favre was 1 trillion times better with the Jets than Aaron Rodgers has been. So that's the only part of it that I think is interesting to anyone but me, is what does all of this mean for the legacy of Aaron Rodgers? But the legacy of this team is complete. They're the biggest failure of any team in any sport that I can remember in a really long time. People still talk about the quote-unquote dream team, the 2011 Philadelphia Eagles. They weren't nearly this bad. That team went 8-8. They just didn't win a championship or come close. This team is terrible. They have 2 wins, and the 2 teams they've beaten have a combined total of 2. Well, now they have 3 wins because the Patriots just avenged one of those defeats against the Jets. If this was the BCS, the Jets would be last. They'd be battling it out with Carolina to be the worst team in the NFL based upon their performance. So there's really nothing more you can say, and there's really no reason to say it. The Jets need to just start completely over. Completely over.